What is going on, my Super Sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I'm joined by Kwame for Dragon Ball Super Let's Talk. And today's topic, of course, surprise, surprise, is going to be about future Trunks and this mysterious Black Goku, which I still can't figure out what the hell a Black Goku is. Like, I feel like it's a secret code for some kind of other character. Like, I think we're all overthinking it, or it could very well be just an evil Goku. I don't really know, but we'll get to that in a couple seconds. Before we start, let's go ahead and just kind of give a summary of everything that happened this past week and let you guys know, in case you're new here and have no clue what the hell is going on. So Toei dropped a press release the other day that basically announced the future Trunks arc for Dragon Ball Super is starting on June 12th. Yay! So to read the press release real fast, big shout out to Herms as always. Next up in Dragon Ball Super, adult Trunks will be making his first appearance in a long time. I put together the story based on suggestions from the editorial office. Like last time, I write an outline of the entire plot, then script writers do their best to break it up into episodes, expanding on things, changing things around, or adding new bits as need be. Despite being so strong, Trunks barely escapes from the future with his life. The future was supposed to be at peace, so what in the world could have happened? Wait, oh, okay. And what about this foe, too strong even for Trunks to handle? Black Goku. Well, you can probably imagine what he's like just based off the name. It's the start of a battle that surpasses time, space, and drags in the gods of destruction, Kaioshin, even the Omni King. Many mysteries will be revealed. There's some confusing bits with time changing here and there, but just bear with me. It should be definitely turn out to be a fun story. Even I haven't checked out the final script yet. Let's enjoy this together. Haha. So, a lot of us have wanted future Trunks to come back for a very long time. In fact, I remember when Dragon Ball Super was first announced, the first set of speculation videos and theories that ran around is who will come back. Will we get Bardock? Will we get Broly? Will we get Gine? Will we get, Trunks? And a lot of us assumed this wouldn't happen. Toriyama would only give us new characters. Well, surprise, surprise, Toriyama being as predictable as he always is, he's given us Trunks. Now, the question is what the hell happened in the meantime? So how about we start with Kwame? How about you give me your first thoughts on future Trunks, and then we'll talk about Black Goku afterwards.
Okay, well, the first thing is, Dino, I've always felt that if there was one character that was likely to come back, it would be future Trunks, because I've said before that future Trunks is a character that can easily come back into any point of the Dragon Ball story.
Exactly.
And the reason why is because the whole thing with like his timeline and stuff, I think that's a reason he could come back, so I wasn't surprised. The only thing is, I was curious as to how he would be involved in the plot, and in my video, Dino, on my 5 reasons why future Trunks, is basically going to return in Super, I mentioned the whole thing about how it could have possibly been a villain, and I wasn't too sure about the Black Goku thing, but the whole thing with Trunks is how strong would he have been at this point in time? And the reason why I'm saying this, Dino, is there's a very important thing to say here. In my alternate timeline theory, I pointed out that because time passes in the present, that doesn't equate to an equal amount of time for the future. For example, when Trunks killed Frieza, he came back after his time machine basically recharged. So it's not like he waited 3 years just like how they were waiting for the androids. And I think that that's the whole thing that some people might be skewed, because Trunks should look a lot older, he should look a lot less. And that's what I was really concerned about.
One thing that I've noticed in the artwork, I mean, this is just an illustration, so it's kind of hard to judge it. The Trunks that Toriyama released in a press release with Toei, of course, looks a lot darker. And in terms of like he's seen some stuff essentially. Now again, it's kind of tough to tell because it's just an illustration. He was probably just drawn that way. And until we see the first images and preview of Trunks in the series, we don't really know what happened. But the question is, what the hell happened in between? Because obviously, Goku drew a lot of evil to him in his timeline. He even admits that himself during, at the end of the Cell Saga. That's why he chose to stay dead. But he probably actually just chose because he wanted to train, but whatever. What the hell other incentive was there for evil to happen in the other world? I mean, there's a couple of things you can toss out there. Maybe he, tracked down Planet Namek, used a Dragon Ball, switch everybody back, but then something happened and it wasn't done properly, which I really hope that's not the case, because we'll talk about Black Goku in a couple seconds, but for Black Goku, what I don't want it to be is I don't want it to be literally Goku. I mean, a lot of people are also speculating the chances it could be Timebreaker Bardock, and since we are getting Trunks again, for all we know, this could be like time-esque stuff, because, going back to a while ago when Toriyama's initial interview came out with Toyotaro where they talked about the future character, they did mention a villain with white hair, and since future Trunks has come back, my first thought was, well, what about Mira? Now, if it's a Mira thing, that could be badass, and that could make a lot of sense, but at the same time, what is this Black Goku? That's the only thing I don't get is, what is this Black Goku? Because another thing I want to toss out there is the actual translation was literally Buraku Goku, which is Black Goku. And had it been something else like Kuro Goku, which is basically shadow slash mean slash evil, then it would for sure be evil Goku. But the fact that it was just straight up Black Goku makes me think that I don't think it's necessarily an evil Goku, but something else. Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, you know,
it's tough, right?
let me just insert a quick joke, Rhymestyle.
Okay.
My Aquaman icon was actually originally designed by somebody in the really early 2000s, and that image is probably at least 10 to 15 years old. And the guy who made that domain was the Black Goku. So let me just say that a lot of people have been making a lot of inside jokes with me because the guy who made my icon is basically called the Black Goku. So at first, some people were thinking it might be like a Saiyan of African descent. I don't think that's physically possible because Goku's an alien, but interestingly enough, I do think this whole evil Goku thing is not something I'm really fond of, and if I'm just going to be honest, it's because, I'll be honest, I have been one of those people who has kind of been shutting down all of these evil Goku discussions, because Rhymestyle, you're older than me.
They've been around for a while.
Yes.
Even when I was a kid, Black Goku was being, oh, not Black Goku, but evil Goku was being discussed.
It was in AF, it was in Z, it was in GT, because you remember people were thinking Goku might have his body possessed by Baby. They were thinking it in Xenoverse, they were thinking it in Resurrection F. And Rhymestyle, I'll just say this real quick thing. Do you remember when Resurrection F was coming out and
Yes.
people were thinking that Goku was going to be evil because of the smile he had in the teaser trailer?
Yeah.
And we've always been fighting these shutdowns, so when I heard it might be evil Goku, I'm like, no, this is a nightmare.
Right. Now, it's funny, right now we actually have evidence that it could be indeed Black Goku, like evil Goku. But at the same time, I feel like part of me thinks that Toriyama is just setting up a troll for us where it's not going to be literally an evil Goku or Black Goku. For all we know, it just could be another Saiyan. A darker Saiyan. Maybe it's another Saiyan named Goku as well. That's all. We don't know. That's the tough part. It's easy to speculate and theorize and assume that it's going to be evil Goku, but until we have actual proof to what it is, I don't want to jump the gun, essentially. That's what I'm trying to say. And I saw a lot of people in the community like already saying stuff like, oh yeah, finally, you know, we've been waiting for years for this. Well, not quite. Until we see actual pictures and see what this Black Goku is, then we can't really jump the gun yet. But the other question is what kind of strength difference is there? Because I mean, obviously with Dragon Ball Super, when that came out, actually let's just say post Dragon Ball Z. Post Dragon Ball Z, power scaling became a joke, and I don't even look at it anymore. I always get people who comment my video saying, hey, how strong do you think so-and-so is compared to so-and-so? You can't even really compare those questions anymore at this point, because like, honestly, if you compare Super characters to Dragon Ball Z characters, it's a different level of strength. So I kind of gave up on power scaling, and that's the only way this is going to make sense, because like, I don't see Trunks or even this Black Goku being anywhere near the strength of, you know, Goku and Vegeta at this point. But somehow they're going to be, and that's because power scale number one doesn't make sense. I mean, going back to like power levels, I've said this many times before, power levels are bullshit. And I feel like had power levels never been brought into the series, then we would never have these like power scaling questions like this. I mean, any other anime, nobody ever discusses how much stronger somebody is. Like, that's Yu Yu Hakusho, for example. That's actually a good example. Throughout the series of Yu Yu Hakusho, every villain progressively gets so much stronger. You agree with me with that?
Yes.
So we got, you know, let's start with Toguro. Toguro's really powerful. Yusuke somehow beats him. Sensei shows up, slightly powerful. Well, not slightly powerful, but somewhat more powerful than Toguro. Yusuke beats him. Then we get even further into the Three Kings arc. Everybody gets progressively so much stronger. But the way power scale was set up in Dragon Ball Z, and this has bugged a lot of fans ever since day one of Dragon Ball Z, the powers were vastly different. Like, completely different. Like, I can't even explain. Like, for example, Krillin at the end of Z could probably take out someone like Frieza. Well, I don't know if you actually could, but I'm just doing an extreme example. It shows you, like, it's kind of crazy to compare it. Whereas, you know, if you look at other anime, characters at the end of the series aren't really that much more strong. I mean, they're stronger, but they're not that much more vastly stronger. So when it comes down to it, it makes sense to other anime. But in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, it's so tough and annoying to kind of figure out how much stronger someone is, just because they grow so incredibly fast, and it's kind of a joke when you compare it to other characters. So again, what is going to be the power scale and the difference between this Black Goku person compared to someone like Goku and Vegeta, who are gods? Unless the Omni King is involved, in which case, maybe for all we know, he can make someone that much more stronger. For all we know, this future Trunks arc is going to the tournament, and then, you know, we'll have a completely different arc than we're all expecting to see. Because what I want to see, and here's a question I want from you guys right now. First, let me ask you first. What is it that you guys want to see out of this future Trunks arc? Like, do you want this to be something dark related to what we saw, like with the Android Saga? Or do you want this to be something like a tournament or something else? Let me know your best, I guess, wants for this arc in the comment section below. With me, I want something dark. And this is a comment I just posted on Amber's video a couple of seconds ago before we started recording. Future Trunks showed up in Dragon Ball Z, and everything became so dark and, like, despairing. It was just sad. Like, he came for help. And I want that tone to come back to Dragon Ball Super because we've been missing that for a long time. Like even with the gods showing up in this Universal Tournament, it was never really that dark. And I want that darkness to return in the series, and I'm hoping Trunks brings that with him. Like I wanted to bring darkness and despair with him, and then from there we take a completely different side of Dragon Ball Super that we haven't seen thus far yet in the series. In Super, not in Z, but in Super. What do you think about that?
I think that's really interesting you point that out, because I was mentioning that on Beautiful Friends video from yesterday, because the interesting thing is, we were saying, Dino, and you agreed with me off the air, that Dragon Ball Super seriously needed, like, a major villain.
Right.
And although Frieza was a major villain, he was kind of already reused. Beerus is an antagonist, but not necessarily a villain. You could say the same for Champa. So I think
even in Universe 6, none of those guys were villains. I mean, Frost kind of was, but not really.
Yeah, and I guess to some degree you could consider Hit a villain too, but we need like an antagonistic villain that's gonna screw things up. And I'll just say something really quick. You mentioned about the Omni King. I think that the Omni King is interesting because me and Beautiful Friends were also talking about the fact that the Omni King is also a character that might not necessarily have to be involved fighting wise. Like he could be like trapped or something and he can't help, and you know, and it's up to the others to solve the problem themselves, which I find interesting.
Okay. I don't know. It's tough. I guess we'll just have to wait to see what comes out. Like, it sucks that they announced it. Well, it doesn't suck because they're obviously hyping it up. And what Toei, you know, what we're doing right now is exactly what Toei wanted. Is just creating hype, talking about it, and just having the community continuously discuss about Future Trunks without any details. And it's going to suck until we find out what actually is going on. So I guess in the comment section below, 2 questions. Well, 3 questions. First question, how do you feel about Future Trunks' comeback? And for the most part, I saw a lot of people are excited. Second question, what do you guys think about Black Goku? Do you think he is an evil Goku or a different kind of villain with the same name? Or, I don't know, maybe he's just like described as evil Goku or Black Goku. I don't even know. Let me know your thoughts on Black Goku. And then the third question is, what do you want out of this Future Trunks arc? Let us know in the comment section below. Kwame, is there anything else?
No, I just really look forward to this, and I definitely think that, you know, because the earlier sagas outside the Resurrection F arc were kind of happy, or like not that threatening, I kind of want to go into a serious life-threatening arc.
I just want to see more Gods of Destruction, because I will point out that in the thing that Toriyama released, it says it's a starter battle that surpasses time and space and drags in the God of Destruction, not Destructions, Destruction, which I assume is just Beerus. So I was hoping that they would add Champa in there as well, maybe another God of Destruction, but we'll see what happens. I mean, for all we know, they still don't know what they're gonna do with the series, because you know Toei is notorious for kind of, you know, doing the story on the fly. Because I actually heard a bunch of stuff about, well, I can't talk about that. We'll talk about that off camera. But I heard about how Super Wars was being made, and they do everything on the fly. So we'll see what happens when the series comes out. But for now, I guess let us know your thoughts on Black Goku, Future Trunks comeback, and what you want out of this arc. And I guess we'll take one from there. Anyways, Kwame, do the outro.
Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, as I always say,